Here it is. This is a turbo kit for my E92 N54. Now, it's weird because that car has become so popular because it was the budget build, and the contents of this box nearly cost about the same as what I paid for the entire car. So in this video, we're going to unbox it, talk about why it's special, talk about why I think it's how I've justified spending so much money on it, and yeah, go through a few things about a right-hand drive, pretty damn cool single turbo kit. But before we get into the actual unboxing, actually, to be honest, I was going to unbox it on camera, but I had to open up these two parts to check wastegate sizes. And yeah, long story short, all of this, it's so well packed. I think it's going to take me a little while to unbox it, but I want to unbox it and inspect everything and see everything that's in the kit. Because of what's been going on lately with just the madness, I know there's a lot in the kit, but I'm not exactly sure how much there is. So I'm going to get it all opened up. But before I do that, anyone that did the GoFundMe, please check your email and see if you got the Telegram link. I want to get you guys set up so that if you are doing an AHP install, you can contact me directly for any help and assistance. That was the original plan, and I kind of feel like we're at the point where I can answer any questions that anyone might have. So I have emailed everyone that I have the email address. There's about 30 people that I don't have your contact details from GoFundMe. So yeah, shoot me an email if you haven't got an email, and we'll get you in the Telegram group. All right, I'm gonna switch you guys over to time-lapse because I think it's gonna take a little while to unpack everything. See you in a sec. Now, I know Adam is gonna be in the comment section anyway, but I thought I'd show you guys how he's packed everything. So everything is wrapped in a plastic wrap. This is the most adult Christmas I've ever had, by the way. Apart from the really adult Christmas. That was something different. So it's wrapped in plastic wrap, then it's wrapped in bubble wrap. Oh God, it's heavy as well. Then it's wrapped in plastic wrap again. Oh my God, it must have taken him hours to pack this. All right, back to time-lapse. Everybody. It's a lot, isn't it? This is Jetty, by the way. We're currently dog sitting. Guys, this is the first time I've actually seen the kit in the flesh. Adam, where was your wife put up with you doing all this? So, yeah, wow. Are you going to help? Are you going to help? Right, guys, so the issue with right-hand drive M54s is we have the turbos come out on the driver's side, the right-hand side, and we have that lovely steering rack, and it makes it very hard to fit much between the block and the chassis. There are quite a few right-hand drive M54 turbo kits out there, but Adam, the gentleman that's developed this, and I've been speaking with Adam since around September 2020 when he first messaged me. He said, "Hey Andrew, love the 0 to 60 channel. I'm developing a single turbo kit. Do you want to try it out?" I was like, "Yes. How much is it going to be?" And he said around €1,000. I was like, hell yeah, that's amazing. And that was what he was hoping it was going to cost. Unfortunately, it's blown out a little bit. Yeah, this is now the most expensive turbo kit in the world for an N54. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Let's get the price out the way. Currently, he's hoping to sell them for €5,000-ish. Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it, Jetty? However, being in business my entire life, I don't think the €5,000 price is going to work. Not when he actually factors in his time. Like, just to pack this up is a good hour to 2 hours work. But what Adam has done, which is very different to everything else I know on the market, he's tried to make a kit that is completely DIY friendly. So you don't need to go and get anything made. You don't need to go and buy other bits and pieces. He's tried to include everything. Now, before we get into everything that's included, let's just talk about the manifold, because that's what makes it special. So Adam, who lives in Cyprus, is good friends with somebody that makes some of the fastest hill climb cars in Cyprus. Now, that has resulted in this spaghetti manifold. And what makes it special, it is an equal length an equal length twin scroll manifold. And it's so equal that when you measure between each exhaust valve and the turbine wheels, every cylinder is exactly the same within 7 or 8 millimeters. I can't remember the exact number. He'll probably refresh everyone down below. But yeah, equal length, and that's why it sounds like this. It's something that doesn't really get spoken about a lot in the N54 world, but the way that the exhaust is set up, I think, is one of the big reasons that the N54 twin cars just don't sound so good. A single sounds better, but when you get them equal length, they really start to sing, and that's why I fell in love with this manifold at such an early time. Because even though he's got this equal length setup going on here, we've still got room for the steering rack to come down. It's mega. I hope that's in shot there. But yeah, the way the manifold works, it works in 3 pieces. You can actually fit this without taking the engine out. Well, you wouldn't be able to fit it with the engine, with it on the engine, to be honest. Yeah, and everything was actually calculated. All of this design was calculated using Lotus F1 software. Somehow Adam knows somebody that works at Lotus F1 team, and they use the same software to calculate this based on the stock N54 valve train size. So something to keep in mind, it is designed for, it was originally designed for a Garrett GTX or GT 3582R Gen 2 and a stock N54 valve train. So stock exhaust size, stock valve lift, and I think they designed this to maximize the 3582 with a 1.01 housing. So if you ran that size of turbo, all of this will be working perfect efficiency range up around that 900 to 1000 horsepower. Unfortunately, since Adam did all this technical work with that, Garrett released the G35 range. Adam has got, in the car that you've just heard, that is a 3582. I'm not going to run it with a 3582, I'm going to run it with a 351050. So a turbo that takes it a little bit beyond that 900 horsepower optimum efficiency range, and we're just going to see how it works. However, to keep things extra spicy and you guys extra involved, Jake, who is featured on this channel a fair bit, he has ordered the other one of these kits, and he's going to run it with a 35900, which is closer to the turbo that it was designed for. So we'll see how spool reacts and that sort of stuff. But this tricky little manifold, I shit you not, has a GT 3582 with a 1.01 housing, spooling like the Flomaxes. So I've seen Adam's logs, and he is coming onto boost and making 20 PSI at the same time the Flomax turbos are. And a GT 3582 Gen 2 has a huge rear housing. So they're generally quite a laggy turbo, and it spools like the twins. So I'm pretty excited about this. It is going to be a very expensive project, something that I wasn't planning on doing straight away, but with the imminent move that it looks like we're going to be experiencing, everything's getting rushed forward. So there's heaps of cool stuff happening on the channel. The filming might not be so there, but we're doing a lot of stuff to a lot of cars to basically so we can move out of this place. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. There's a lot of technical design work. So when Adam contacted me in September 2020, he'd finished this section of the design. The manifold was designed, his downpipe was designed, and he thought that was most of the work. But the reason it's taken nearly 2 years longer is sorting out all of this other stuff. So as you can see here, we have external gates. Now, Adam designed the kit originally for an external gated system. On his test car, I don't know how old Adam is actually. He's a wise man, but he might be 25. I don't know. But he found it a little bit too loud. So his car, what you've heard in those videos, that is an internally gated setup. And what he's done, he's connected these pipes to his exhaust just at the end of the downpipe. So it's still, there's no flow restrictions with the wastegate getting plumbed into the downpipe because it is only a 3-inch downpipe or 74mm downpipe, but it quietens it down, plumbing it back into the exhaust. So that's all good. But where it sort of really blew out was things like all of the waterline fittings, the MAC valve wiring. He's even ceramic. Oh, I didn't even talk about the coating. So yes, if anyone that's got a high mount N54 turbo will know that they get quite hot. It's a problem on a left-hand drive car where you've got a lot more space, but on a right-hand drive car, it is insane. Something that I noticed on O'Reilly, and I didn't really appreciate it until I pulled that turbo system apart, was how much work that Dan from Simply Tuning has put into heat management. And Adam from N54 Developments has done the same. So again, leaning on the technology from the F1 world, he's used zirconia ceramic coating, which is what they use in F1s apparently, and it is the most efficient heat management coating you can put on anything. It is horrifically expensive, but Adam felt that it was the best way to do it, maximizing effective space that is available, so keeping things away from each other, still allowing airflow through everything. But yeah, it's just crazy. So the manifold is zirconia coated. The water pipe, I mean, just look at this. It's CNC'd, then welded with all the fittings. Everything will be, well, should be, better be plug and play, Adam. Everything will be plug and play with this. But yeah, the water pipe is zirconia coated, the wastegates is zirconia, and even the oil drain for the turbo is zirconia. I'm in a bit of an awe here. I'm in awe, I should say. Yeah, he supplies the heat blanket for the turbos, heat wrap for the downpipe. This was something that got developed in the last month or so. So you're probably well aware that the BMS cone filters for the single turbos are sort of the go-to for a filter to put on the turbo housing. The issue being that when you have a high mount turbo on an N54, you've only got like an inch or two, it's probably 2 or 3 inches, between the turbo and the front headlights. You can't run a normal big pod filter. In Adam's testing, he found that the BMS filter was restrictive. I don't know how restrictive it is, because I'm pretty sure every single turbo out there runs it. So he looked into developing or modifying a HKS foam type filter, which is what that is. And then he's got this 3D printed part with the bell mouth. Again, this went through some flow efficiency software to design it all. But that filter will actually fit in front of the turbo on the N54 right-hand drive, and it flows more air than the BMS filter. And we've got a spare filter element just there as well. If you're wondering what the red thing is, it's to go on that filter. We have every fitting for the oil lines, the coolant lines. He even supplies connectors for the MAC valve. God, I don't know what this is actually. He is going to send me some instructions. I only just got this kit. I didn't plan to open it, but I just couldn't contain myself. Ding. Gasket for the oil pipe. Obviously they come with a 335D coolant reservoir. That's because your turbo is now going to sit where the actual original N54 reservoir goes. Supplies a new water pipe that goes between the thermostat and the water pump. I mean, it looks the same as, well, is the same as a standard one, so I assume he's just supplying that so that you replace it while you're in there. We have the cross pipe to connect the diesel overflow bottle over to the original one, where the original one goes to. That is vacuum line. We have a silicon join to join the turbo to the charge pipe, which is what that is. Now, unfortunately, again, right-hand drive being an issue, I'm going to flash up a picture of what this turbo system looks like in the engine bay, and you'll probably do exactly what I did and have a bit of a heart attack, because the outlet pipe of the turbo has to go over the top of the rocker cover and then down the front of the engine. Now, it looks a bit, how you going? I'd prefer it to go straight down like it does on O'Reilly and all the left-hand drive kits, but because of the equal length manifold, this runner for cylinder 1 is normally where the turbo will go straight down. So it's a compromise. You either have an equal length manifold or an engine bay that looks a little bit cooler. So the charge pipe here, that'll actually come out of the turbo, go down the front of the engine. It must sit about like that, I guess. Unless it goes, maybe it goes like that. I don't know. But anyway, that'll join up with the stock intercooler. Or an upgraded intercooler, I should say. Something that Adam wanted to counteract straight away. Everyone from any single turbo kit anywhere, they are really good at cooking O2 sensors. There's a few ways to go around that. Adam has done it by using O2 separators. Let me get some pictures of how they work, but they basically just vent some of the gas into this chamber, which is cooled, and it comes, it sticks in there. You might be able to see it. You can just see them in there. But on the underside of those, they have a hole that comes up in the bottom, then a right angle to go into this chamber, and then it comes out and then goes back out. So the gas as it comes through at speed, it gets into this chamber, and that seems to be working. He's been running his car for about 2 months, and he has no issues with O2 readings. Everything seems to be working good, and he hasn't killed any O2s yet. Even things like... Whoops, it's too much money. Even things like all of the turbo oil feed and coolant lines. Not only does he supply the braided hoses, he's even got heat protection on them as well. The heat management is something I feel a lot of people just don't really think about until you melt something. I've heard of a lot of horror stories with high mount turbo kits, melting stuff, catching on fire, all that sort of thing, and heat management has been a big part of Adam's concern. What else do I want to address? The biggest thing that people whinge about when they see photos of, and I've seen it on Adam's Facebook as well, complaining about the welds. So let's have a close-up look at the welds on the retail product. Yeah, I don't know if that's particularly bad, is it? It looks pretty good to me. Considering it's not a showpiece, it is a manufactured product. The welds are pretty good. They're good enough. And I'll try and get some better. You can just see in the GoPro there. Adam is a freak about efficiency, flow, and all that sort of stuff. So what he has done is made sure that... how can I show you? Actually, I think I can see on this one. So you can see on there the inside edge where the gases actually pass is all buttered up, smooth, and in line. So the gases won't be hitting any ridges or anything as they make their way up to the turbo. Adam, this kit is insane. That is so much work. Like I said, it's probably a good 2 hours just to package this up into that box. Well, there it is. This is the next generation of the 17T DCT car. It's not going to be 17T anymore. There's 2 things that Adam doesn't supply, and that is the wastegates, because you do need 2 wastegates. Yeah, it was designed using twin 38mm wastegates. Adam's running tile on his car, but being in Australia, I want to run TurboSmart, the TurboSmart Stealth wastegates. So I have ordered those, and I've also ordered my turbo, and I'll do an unboxing video of those, hopefully when they turn up in the next day or so. Yeah, and I really want to hopefully get this on the car in the next week. Big ask. Huge ask, in fact, so I don't know if it'll happen. If everyone can tell Jake in the comment section, please help Andrew fit his turbo kit, because Jake hasn't even assembled his built motor yet. Yeah, Jake, you've missed out there. Anyway, hopefully we'll get this on the car. We'll be making some single turbo noises, and that thing is going to go through the normal 0 to 60 development process, where we test it and blow stuff up. That's probably what's going to happen. But we're gonna try to be going quick now. Guys, thank you all for watching. Tomorrow's video is going to be on something a bit special. The car that legitimately started 0 to 60. The car we did the first ever video on. I now own it. I've owned it since 2016 actually, but it's coming out of hibernation. Again, this is something that's come about because of our move. But yeah, I'm going to be getting that car out, see if it still starts, see how moldy it is. Because it's also worth a lot of money now, which it wasn't when I parked it up. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Yeah. This is Andrew's birthday present. This is what Christmas is like when you're in your mid-30s and you have to pay for all the presents. Oh my God, this is going to sound sick. All right, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. I've just stood back. I stopped filming 2 or 3 minutes ago. The manifolds are not only an insane work of art for the shapes to be like this, but I can only just lift that up. They are so solid. And anyone that's sort of gotten into high-power turbo kits before, you'll know that manifold cracking is a big issue. Can you see in there? Can you see in there? Look how smooth it all is. Dude, Adam, you put way too much work in. Oh, you do also need... Oh, the sun's in my eyes. You do also need a set of exhaust manifold gaskets. But I mean, this is a pretty damn comprehensive kit. Oh, can't wait to get it on. GoPro, stop recording.